We're about a minute ahead of 5 o'clock here on the West Coast. My special guest in the studio right now, an old friend, Galestian. So you moved to Berlin, Germany for a while. Why is that?
So when I went there after ADE last year, it took a while for the city to grow on me. But after being there for a couple of weeks, I was blown away by the music scene there. It's just incredible. I mean, it attracts so many creative people, and like for electronic music too, it's just been exactly the type of feeling that I've always wanted to immerse myself in. So once I got there, I knew that this wasn't going to be like a transient place for me, at least in the short term. I was like, I definitely need to stay here. And I had a friend who had moved there from LA too, and just the people I was meeting, it just blew my mind. I mean, there's like studios everywhere, and most producers you run into are doing some kind of electronic music, which that's a dream for an electronic music producer. So the nightlife there is thriving. It's super healthy nightlife scene. There's something happening almost every night. I mean, most of the clubs will open like Friday and they don't close until Monday or something. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, you can go in and out of these clubs. You don't live there. I mean, you can go on a Friday night, stay for as long as you want. Go grab a bite and I don't know, go home, sleep, come back for the day party, or you can stay there all weekend if you want to.
So once you paid admission once, it's good for the entire weekend.
Yeah, you get a stamp and you can go in and out.
Freaking amazing! I love that. So you made a song called Alles Klar, which is maybe a few of the German words you actually speak.
Right, yeah. I can't call myself a German speaker yet, but I do.
But you are a Berliner.
Yes, I am officially a Berlin resident. Alles Klar, basically it means like everything's okay or it's all good. Like, literally it means it's clear.
Right.
So, it just felt like an appropriate title for my new move to Berlin, because that's the way I felt when I wrote it.
All right, let's check it out. This is Galestian and one of his latest, Alles Klar. Arthur Galestian is our special guest in the studio, an old friend of mine. He's got a brand new release out on Paul Oakenfold's Perfecto label. We're going to be playing that song in just a moment. We just heard Alles Klar, and what label did that come out on?
That was on Perspectives Digital.
All right, so you're living in Berlin. It's a happening city. You can go out to a club on a Friday night, and then you can return a couple of times over the weekend. Yeah. So how many DJs will play in that club, and what is the most popular music being featured in Berlin clubs?
So, I mean, depending on the club you go to, most DJs will play for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours. And if the club is going on all weekend, you have a fully stacked lineup. I mean, you basically, like, if you want to find out what the lineup is, you can either go to the website or you show up at the club and it's like a few pages of DJs that are playing. So there are a lot of opportunities to play out there and to discover new talent. I mean, Berlin clubs are some of the best in the world. So yeah, I mean, as far as...
What makes them some of the best in the world?
I think it has to do with the city's history, and this is only my perception as an American living there. Of course, if you ask somebody who's lived there their entire life, they might give you a different story. But from my experience, it has a lot to do with the city's history too. I mean, techno has been part of their heyday for such a long time. The same way like hip hop kind of had its roots in LA and the East Coast. Like Berlin had this like a whole techno scene in the 80s and 90s, particularly after the wall fell. So there was always this like experimentation and fascination with the sound. And I mean, nowadays, the reason I think it's so thriving is just because, there's so many clubs just dedicated to that music. It's like the default party music. So when you go out at night, it's like, it's really hard to find a top 40 club. I'll put it that way. There's maybe like one or two.
Love that.
Which is great.
Yes, that's fantastic. Couldn't be better.
So most of the visitors there are like, where can we go out that's not playing techno? And that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, like deep house and techno, I'd say are like the defaults. But you'll find anything as long as it's kind of in the underground. It's really a great place to push yourself artistically as well. I found like I'm not afraid to try new things because people are more likely to receive them than sticking to a formula that works.
What are you going to be doing now? Do you have what gigs do you have coming up?
So, well, I just played at Burning Man, which was amazing. This was my 4th time there, and I thought I had seen it all, but God, it's like Burning Man's different every single time. It was by my best Mern.
I tell you what, I just went. this company, the T-shirt that I'm wearing, is called Bass Boss.
Bass Boss.
And they supply the sound for our 25-year anniversary party. They're a great company, make amazing speakers. And you just sent me an email today with a little bit of a video from Burning Man. They supplied sound to one of the what do you call it? Communities?
Yeah, the camps or the sound
the
stages.
camps, exactly. So they provided the sound for at least one of the camps, and they got some great footage. So you can go to bassboss.com and you can check out and see what it looks like. It looks absolutely fantastic. People dancing in the desert.
Yeah.
Just out there alone, dancing.
Yeah, it's really a surreal feeling to be out there.
What time did you play?
I played a few times. I played mostly in the afternoons and in the evenings. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And how long was your set, and how many people danced to your music? Were people dancing at all? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, my sets would be as short as maybe 45 minutes up to, I think the longest set I played was like 2.5 hours, and the crowd size varied. I mean, I've had people as few as like 20 or 30 in a really, really small camp up to like, I don't know, thousands on the night of the burn on an art car. So it's really surreal. It really is.
And now you're going to be going to ADE. And what is, help explain ADE.
So ADE is the Amsterdam dance event. It happens once a year in Amsterdam, and it's, in my opinion, it's the world's most influential and, my favorite electronic music conference out of all the ones that I'm aware of.
More so than the Winter Music Conference or Miami Music Week.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I wouldn't even contend that one.
Wow.
So it's really a great place to meet people who are working in the electronic music industry in any capacity. But then at the same time, even if you're not working in the industry, just the parties are crazy. I mean, people go there just for the parties even. So I think if you're a fan of electronic music in any way possible, it's definitely a place where you can find whatever it is you're looking for.
Is it expensive to get in? Is it difficult to get into places?
So if you're going to go to the conference, you'd have to buy a ticket to attend, and that's like a few €100. And then there's the flights and all that stuff. But then you don't have to buy a ticket if you just want to go to the parties. There are a lot of free parties there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you could just find free parties for the entire week. But then, some of the bigger parties with the bigger names are going to have like ticket sales. So, I mean, you can make it a very, very expensive week or a budget week, depending on what you want to do.
Okay, very cool. And when is it again?
I don't know the exact dates, but I think it starts on October 12th or 13th. It's a Wednesday, and it goes until Sunday, which is like the 20th.
Okay.
And I'm playing on the 19th on Saturday at Club NL for the Perspectives Digital Label Party with Nick Muir, Darren Epsilon, Danito and Athena, Roger Martinez, and
wow.
You can find out all that info on my website. So
that's very cool, Arthur. Very cool. You're in good company right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so now you have made a record with Paul Oakenfold. It's a collab with Paul Oakenfold.
Yeah.
How did that come together?
Well, I've been signed to. I signed my first record like 2 years ago or something like that, and so I'm always sending demos back and forth, and we realized that Perfecto Black doesn't have any releases by Paul himself. So Perfecto Fluoro, he has plenty of releases on.
And Perfecto Fluoro is like psytrance music.
Yeah.
That 140 BPM music.
Right. And then, there's Perfecto House and Perfecto Records, and he had releases on all these other ones. And I was like, well, he doesn't really have anything on Perfecto Black. So we were throwing a couple ideas back and forth, and it kind of fell into a groove, and it just naturally turned into a collaboration as we were sending like ideas back and forth. And the timing was perfect because the 50th release was coming up on Perfecto Black, and so we released it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's a great coincidence.
Yeah.
Because like the 50th release or the 100th release is like, that's always a little bit more important record.
Yeah, it's like a milestone.
Yeah, exactly.
The timing of it was great. I think we were at release number 47 when we started working on things. So by the time everything came together, it just worked out really well. We were really happy with the direction things were going with the melodies and the groove, and the sound was perfect for Perfecto Black. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
If people wanted to look you up online, what are your socials?
So on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all under Galestian Music, Galestian Music.
Okay, thank you so much for coming by, Arthur. It was great to see you again. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
You really deserve it, Arthur. You work so hard, and I think that you're going to have a fantastic time in Amsterdam, and then you're going to go back and live in Berlin.
Yep, I'll be there for at least another 2 years. After that, we'll see where life wants me to go.
All right, and then when you come back to L.A., you know that this is one of your must-stops.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, Eagle.
So how did you come up with the title for the song, Summer Nights?
I mean, we were going back and forth on the title, and at the end it was like, it was a really hot summer night in Berlin, and the summer nights were nice in LA, so we're like...
Let's name it that.
That's one thing we have in common.
Hot summer nights. It's Galestian and Paul Oakenfold, Summer Nights.